When we last left you, we had finally arrived in Las Vegas for SEMA. Now that the show's over, it's time to get back in the truck and start exploring Death Valley. We pick up our journey in the town of Beatty, where we're getting ready to hop on Titus Canyon Road, a 27-mile road that cuts through remote parts of Death Valley National Park. When we arrived at the start of the road, a familiar rig pulled up behind us. Mule Outfitters lent their Baja Runner to Harry and Brian to test out on the backcountry roads of Death Valley, and coincidentally, we ran into them right before beginning this road. After some quick introductions, we aired down, and together we headed down Titus Canyon Road. The road is in pretty good shape, which made for a casual ride through some beautiful scenery. We passed through the ghost town of Leadfield before entering Titus Canyon, where the wall started to close in. As we came to the finish of Titus Canyon Road, we said our goodbyes to Harry and Brian. Then we started towards Mahogany Flat Campground. Death Valley National Park is huge, and the drive to Mahogany Flat took over an hour. Luckily, the drive was beautiful and kept us entertained the entire way. The campground itself is perched at 8,200 feet and is located at the trailhead for Telescope Peak. The next day, we hiked to the summit, which is just over 11,000 feet and is the highest point in Death Valley. It was a great hike, and we had incredible views from the top. If you want to see more about this hike, we've got a link in the description below to the video we made about it. After finishing up, we stopped at the charcoal kilns. The kilns were completed in 1877 and are 25 feet tall. The next morning, we headed out of Panamint Valley and turned onto Saline Valley Road to make our way towards the racetrack. So last night we camped down there, just past those sand dunes. We are currently working our way towards the racetrack, which is that spot where the famous sailing stones that are mysteriously moving on their own are. And we started in Panamint Valley this morning and have been kind of dipping in and out of a bunch of different little valleys along the way, which has been very beautiful to drive. And then for lunch, we stopped at this abandoned mine. We have no idea what they mine, but there's some really cool structures left in their place. From there, we continued on to Tea Kettle Junction. We made it to Tea Kettle Junction, which people obviously like to decorate with tea kettles. We were warned ahead of time, and sadly, were unable to find one in any of the teeny tiny little towns leading up to coming here, but one day we'll bring a tea kettle. I do appreciate the creativity of leaving a extremely dirty pan behind with no name on it, but it does have the grease from whatever was last cooked in it. From Tea Kettle Junction, it's only 6 miles to the racetrack. Our first stop at the racetrack was the grandstand, a large rock outcropping in the middle of the playa. We climbed around and then made our way to the main attraction, the sailing rocks. currently walking on La Playa, or the racetrack, searching for sliding stones, the mythical ones that leave tracks behind them. So far been unsuccessful. There's got to be at least one. You better believe I'm gonna find it. Wish me luck. After a lot of searching the racetrack, we finally found our sliding rocks, or they're also called sailing rocks. And apparently it wasn't until very recent history that they actually found out how they're moving. And this end of the lake, it's technically speaking a dried up lake bed, sometimes in the year does get a little bit of standing water, and then it will freeze. The morning sun slightly melts it, and a constant breeze actually moves these rocks on tiny little sheets of ice as they go. And if that doesn't get you stoked, I honestly don't know what will, because that is amazing. I think this is probably our most impressive specimen that we've come across. Someone stole my seat while we were looking at the sliding rocks, and we are now some ways down the road and she still hasn't given it back. At least she's cute though. Oh, went feisty. After that, we had a short drive to camp, which also happened to be home to the worst porta potty in the history of mankind. The next day, we hiked up from our campsite to check out some of the mines. Whoa, it goes way down there. So there's a series of ladders and platforms that goes down farther than I can see. I did it. Before heading out, we aired down our tires for a smoother journey back. We took the Racetrack Valley Road back to pavement and started towards Zabriskie Point. On the way, we made a quick stop for some essentials. So we just stopped in the general store at Death Valley. Got paper towels because I got a glimpse of our solar panels and they're disgusting, and all of our counters need to be wiped. Death Valley patch because we collect patches. Joshua Tree chapstick, my favorite chapstick on planet Earth, and my motto is when you find them, you buy them. And a Twix ice cream bar because no adventure is complete without ice cream because I'm 12.
Oh, it's good. I don't think I've ever had a Twix one before.
Is it everything you dreamed it would be?
Yeah, I think so.
Then we headed towards Zabriskie. Zabriskie Point is absolutely beautiful and was a great way to conclude our time in Death Valley. We left the park and pointed the truck towards our next adventure, the Mojave Road. Our story doesn't end there. So we'll see you down the road. Did you Owen! All that's left in here is a pile of sugar and your hair.